I'm just curious who would give their soul to Nifty. We don't have a whole lot of information on how overlords work totally. Like, obviously, we have an idea. Overlords do not come into hell with powers. They gain their powers through owning souls. They have their own rules and regulations in the contracts that they make for their souls that they own, and that's about it. There are special cases like Husk and Alistair who don't have their power completely because of the souls they own. Husk only has his powers still after Alistair owns his soul because it was in their contract. Literally the whole reason that he gave his soul is to save his power. And Alistair made a deal with Rosie in order to be the most powerful sinner in hell. So his power was already going to be strong once he got into hell. But the other overlords are here because they own a lot of souls. That's not to say Alistair doesn't own a lot of souls and that Husk didn't when he was still an overlord. I'm just saying, like, the reason these people have their powers is because they still own souls. Now, when I start talking about soul ownership, people are like, well, that's not how it works because Vox is only like this when his approval ratings are super high. But don't you think this, like, ridiculously influential guy who is rallying up sinners to go to heaven, don't you think in that mess more people would be more willing to trust him and give up their souls? I feel like it makes sense. Plus, Google agrees with me. They acquire power by owning souls either through direct deals or binding contracts, allowing them to exploit the souls for increased influence. Just because we haven't seen Vox collect souls doesn't mean he doesn't own souls and has not been collecting souls this entire time. I feel like there's a lot of stuff going on in the background of Hazbin Hotel that we just don't see happen. Like, for example, when I said that Angel must have been hypnotized, like, right after Serpentius failed on his, and everyone was like, no, it had to be later, it had to be a masquerade, because of, like, this clip. I've already gone through all that, I'm not gonna go through it again, but it definitely was sooner. But this is the only part that we see portrayed. And now we go back to Nifty. I'm just curious on, like, the kind of people who would sell their souls to Nifty. Some people make the joke of, like, oh, she owns the souls of the roaches and the bugs. But I don't think roaches have souls. They're definitely not people. Like, there's not just a bunch of people coming into hell as, like, a roach. We have animals in hell, like cats and dogs and pigs. And if you're telling me the Fat Nuggets has the soul of someone else in there and is just not talking, no. We're not gonna try to jump down a rabbit hole like that. No. We do not have a Sirius Black situation, I promise. But now that it has been heavily implied that Nifty is an overlord, I really want to see what kind of people she would be ruling over. I want to meet the people who would sell their soul to this. I love it. I love this idea.